Okay, so this is my book. O Child of the Lord, Growth is Inevitable. And people have been saying that this book is thick, but everyone who's read this book so far says that this book is a page turner. So, with that, it gave me an idea to do a reading straight from the author. So, this book has no forward, it starts right into chapter one, and chapter one is part one. So, I'm going to start a reading with with chapter one, part one. And chapter one, part one starts off by saying, a good life is about stories of difficulties and triumph, tough times and overcoming. The day hasn't come when Simone has given in on a challenge. She feels that she can do anything through Christ who strengthens her. Sometimes the Christ who she loves feels as if to her he is not there. But when she looks back over her life, she can see how the Lord has guided her. Have a good day. What did she say that for? She knows she didn't mean it. I don't know, Simone. I know I'm not going to have no good day with all of this homework. Yeah, see you later, Matthew. All right, girl. I'll see you tomorrow. Walking through the hall, Simone saw Margaret carrying a stack of books in her arm. Hey, girl, is you headed home right now? Yup, Simone replied. Okay, let's walk together then. Simone closed the tall green locker after gathering her books and started for the door. Together they jostled their way through a sea of black faces. Then they started up the street until the warm, sunny afternoon, both hugging a bundle of books in their arms. Simone and Margaret called their school the Castle because from the outside it looks like a fortress from a much earlier time. Simone said, it's almost the last day of school. Why did I even take this class? It is a challenge, remember? A challenge is what you wanted, Margaret quipped. I didn't want all this. I don't like Miss Clark personally, but she is a good teacher. I like the way she details everything. Not one of the other teachers ever did that. I actually learned a lot from her this semester. She just so doggone nasty. Simone, everybody calls her Clarkrilla. Margaret laughed. She is so big and tall, and she's mean as a gorilla. I struggled to keep up with her, Simone said, and she didn't care if I studied that math book every day. She got a quick temper and nothing ain't good enough, even if every answer was correct. She finds something wrong and some reason to give me at least an A minus. I studied extremely hard last marking period only to get a B. Simone looked at Margaret and grinned. But I'm going to be ready for that final tomorrow. You watch. I'm going to get my A. Well, all right. You don't have to convince me. The two girls walked in the neighborhood where they lived, along the blocks lined with two-story single apartment homes. Some had neatly trimmed lawns with whitewashed picket fences around them. Some had only concrete sidewalks. Almost all had wooden or concrete porches. There was a small apartment buildings at the corners of some of the blocks. Throughout the blocks there were small neighborhood stores. The blacks in this area were proud of their city within a city. Most had come here from Mississippi in the early 1920s, just a few years ago. Lots of colored people coming from the South, moving into the Chicago area. Simone and her older brother Simone Sherman and his parents were part of those people. Thank you, Lord. This day is over, Margaret said. What you gonna do tonight? Margaret asked Simone. Margaret had grown up in the same church with Simone, having lived in the same block since they were both 3 years old. She and Simone were best friends. They were partly because Margaret was the only girl Simone's mother would allow her to play with when she was little. Margaret was tall, 5'7", 4 inches taller than Simone. was she was a quiet person, the exact opposite of her best friend. Tall and slender, she was a very attractive girl with a deep brown complexion. She was not much for fashion. She wore any old dress her mother would give her. Her passions were helping her mother bring up her little brother, attending school and church, and singing in the church choir for her own entertainment.